you know what time it is, man. It's on the RIZE TV, straight uncensored. You know, I got my man, from Out and Out podcast host, my man Adrian Nyce in the building with me. Sir. What up, though? How you feeling, my man?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm glad to be here. I'm feeling good.
Absolutely. So I want to jump that. Well, I'm glad to have you a part of the platform.
Yes.
I'm going to jump right into the interview. Let's start right there with Out and Out podcast.
Okay.
Like, how did you even jump on the scene with that?
Out and Out podcast. Originally, so I got like a film background. I got a degree and everything. And so originally it was supposed to be like TV show format type thing. So like 3 camera angles. I mean, it was basically like a podcast too, but TV show format, that was the intention. But then like podcasting became super popular like 2016, 17. So my homie, he had a radio show and it was like, we can just do this on the internet, essentially. So I helped him. I produced his podcast behind the scenes, and then mine came in 2020. Majority of my fan base was like music artists. So I from music videos and stuff. So then I was like, let me just interview all of them. Let me go down my Rolodex, interview all of them. I had a big ass desk that had a mouth on it that I brought everywhere at first. And I was like, I can just run with this. People were talking, but like I was pulling up on motherfuckers. So that's kind of how I separated myself.
So when you was with the other guy that you was under,
yeah,
what kind of stuff did you learn? Like, did you get the idea then? Like, okay, well, look, I think I'm gonna do my own thing.
Nah, I always had the idea because I did films, like narrative films, but they take a while to develop. So I needed something for in between. Like when I'm releasing a film and I'm promoting a film, it's cool because, people are seeing it. The hype is up. I'm getting paid, whatever it is. People are watching it, engagement. But then there's that gap of just, I got to develop my next film. You know what I'm saying? So the intention was to have the TV show as for the in between. And, yeah, mostly what it was.
Yeah, dope. So how you feel about the current state of, podcast industry?
Podcasting, I feel like people are probably going to say it's really oversaturated, but I feel like it's still growing, man. I feel like it's still growing. I feel like it's just evolving. It's evolving. A lot of people come into the podcast game thinking they're going to pop overnight. And in some cases, depending on your resources, your relationships, and your connections, it can happen faster than most, but that's not, the case most of the time. Mm-hmm. So like, you really got to want to build a brand. You really got to want to be in it for the long run.
Yeah, I want to double back on something though. What you said earlier, you said you was pulling up on people.
Yeah,
you remember how we met? You pulled up on me. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what was that? It was around like 2020, right?
Yeah, 20. Yeah, it had to be 20. What?
Or maybe 2021.
It was 2020 because 2021 I went back to LA. So it had to be 20, or it might have been 2020. No, it had to be 2020.
I think I was on the monitor then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that was 2021.
Something like that.
2022. I was on that for like 2.5 years. Yep.
So basically, we do like tours. And basically, we'll, put out a blast just that we're going on tour in whatever states or cities that lock in with artists that want to do one-on-one interviews. We tap in with them, and that's how I connected with you. Where was we? We was in Fayetteville.
That's right. Yeah,
we was in Fayetteville. So we pulled up to your crib and we did that interview. And we go multiple places. We've been New York, we've been to Florida, we've been to Texas, we've been to Cali, we've been, a lot of places. I'm definitely looking to do like a big, like hit all the states. Like I'd love to do a huge tour, all the states for sure.
Yeah. So you originally from, where you originally from?
So I'm originally from Fort Mill, South Carolina, but it's so close to Charlotte. Like, I'm always in Charlotte growing up. So, a lot of race, like everything's over there. Fort Mill's kind of like a very small town. So when you want to get it in, you go to Charlotte.
So how did you even move? Like you said, you moved to LA, right?
Yes.
Well, what was the connection to get you over there?
So actually, again, like I said, I did film. And, back then, like Hollywood, everything you're seeing on TV is basically either New York or LA. You know what I'm saying? 2016. So I was like, just something was pulling me. So I was like, I had just graduated college. And I was like, I just shot a film too. It was good. What can my next thing do? So I was like, I combined all my strengths. I'm a very good runner. I like to run, and I had film, and I just combined the two. So I had ran across America, bro. It started out. I was like, what? I think I had just said, maybe it started out running just to another state. I think it might have been Atlanta. I was like, maybe I can run to Atlanta. Nah, that's not big enough. Let me run across America. Originally, it was supposed to be somebody else. I was looking for somebody else, and I was just going to shoot the documentary. But now I was like, I can do it. I can fucking do it. Who better? I couldn't find nobody that'd do that shit. So I was like, I'll do this shit.
Yeah, but like the inspiration behind that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm going to be very honest. I think when you're growing up, you kind of hit this point where you're thinking about like, what am I going to do now with my life? What am I going to do now in my life? What's my next move? You also have your friends from high school and or college who are accomplishing their things. So it's like, what can I do that's like competable? If not to like compete with them, but just like in awe, like something that's in awe, that's big. That's just, I don't know. I honestly, it's all about creating separation at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
So what is you going on about 6 years now you've been podcasting?
Yeah. 5-6 years, something like that. Yep.
Right. So are you getting anything out of podcasting? I mean, because most people, they start a podcast and they not consistent enough, but like far as like making money off a podcast.
So, okay. So earlier I mentioned like the podcasting, it was supposed to be a TV show for in between films, but I kind of stopped doing films. So now it's just podcasting, but it's all strategy and chess at the end of the day. So I came to the conclusion that if I was to do this show, that I could increase the amount of artists that I know and contacts within the music industry. So now that I have these contacts, not even thinking about the money, now that I have these contacts, now I can take these group of people that I've met, let's just say it's 1,000 good contacts. And now I can pivot to anything and just take these people with me. Like if I wanted to launch a streaming service, which we might do, now I have 1,000 artists who submit their music or whatever to the streaming service. Or if I wanted to do, music reviews, like it's a million different things. So the whole strategy was I can meet more people. I can just meet more people. Meet as many people as possible.
No doubt. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
That's how you, I would say, your network.
Right.
Exactly. Is what your network.
And I mean, the money's good, too. There's so many ways to make money with podcasting. It's ridiculous. I'll probably say for me in particular, the money's been better like up front. So particularly like charging for interviews, which everybody might not agree with or everybody might not do. But I particularly do just because it's a service I'm providing. Like if I had the pleasure of being a radio host where I don't have to pay for, like a facility or editors or whatever the case may be, I probably wouldn't charge. But yeah, just that. But just if you can do it without charging, you'll probably grow a lot faster. I will tell you that. Because you're not basing every decision off how can I make at least something from this. You know what I'm saying? Now you're just growing off of like, how can I just make the biggest thing possible? You're not limited by money. So if you can do it without money, do it.
Right. The Carolina music scene right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's some of the artists, man, that you think that's out here that's really doing what they doing?
First, let me ask you that question. Who you think out here? Give me like a three artists.
Well, from where? Carolina?
Carolinas. Just who maybe you have heard name wise, who you've come across, or just anybody who you feel like is
let's see.
And this is your like opinion, so it don't matter if they actually are or not. You know what I'm saying?
I think I'm gonna pass on that one. You know, this is your interview. I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
Okay. Yeah. Top artist right now. I'm gonna go with Anella Harum. He's this white younger guy. He's signed to DJ Sud and No Stress Sound Academy. He's killing it. They're both killing it. I'm gonna go with Fetty P. Franklin, who is his music is more street rap type stuff, but he has like a personality too. So like it just is dope. And this is just up and coming. Like, you know, we all know the baby's killing it. And like Tusi, he's from the Carolinas too. He's killing it. I mean, Trap Dicky, Big YBA. Those are 4 people. I mean, I like Sianka. I like Ruben Vincent. I like Luke. It's like a good handful of people.
No doubt. Speaking of the Carolinas, you know, Moray.
Okay.
Everybody was wondering where Moray been.
Right.
And then, you know, you see the Flag interview and you see that he was in a messed up deal. So when you heard Quicksand, like, coming from Moray, coming from the Carolinas, repping or whatever, what did you think about that?
I was in LA. And my homie was out there. He's from the Carolinas too. He shoots music videos, but he showed me the song. I was like, this is dope. And then literally like 2 weeks later, that shit was gone. I was like, what the fuck? But I think Moray has a unique sound, and I think he is an artist that's needed from the Carolinas, just because I think the Carolinas doesn't have like one sound. I'd say like it has like 4 or 5 sounds, and he is a representative of like that soulful melodic type sound. I think he's a dope artist. I'm glad he got out of whatever situation he was. You know, he did a big media run, which was the Vlad interview and everything. I like to see how consistent he stays, because I know I did like a stream like last year in December, and I had just people pull up and they're like rating different artists in the area, and Moray was one of their names. And you know, a couple of people just were like, he just needs to be more consistent. You know, they were basically rating the artist like, this is an A-list, this is a B-list, this is a C-list, this is a D-list from the Carolinas. So Moray obviously has had mainstream success. He's on a song with J. Cole. You know, he is bigger than most artists, but you know, he goes ghost. Like, it's like, what the fuck? But now he's back, so let's see how it goes. Moray, I need that interview. If you looking, we could talk about it, you know. So we'll see.
Yeah. Speaking of J. Cole, Dreamville. They said it was ending.
Yep.
For Raleigh, for Dreamville.
Yep.
Do you know what that would do to Raleigh?
Yeah. So they said they was ending. I did read that they extended the contract, which I feel like strategically they already knew. So like, but they was withholding it so they could get them ticket sales. You know what I'm saying? Get everybody out there, you know, and then announce it later. Cause that shit was packed. I don't know if you've seen them videos, but that shit was packed. But you know, Raleigh not giving up that money. They not giving up that money. It's a lot of people that come out for that, and keeps getting bigger and bigger. I think it's much needed for sure. I don't think we have an artist in the Carolinas, an artist of J. Cole's caliber or stature that's really doing something like Dreamville Fest consistently.
So let's talk about that then. Mm-hmm. You got the baby coming out of Charlotte.
Right.
Biggest artist in Charlotte.
Right.
J. Cole coming out of Fayetteville, biggest artist in Fayetteville.
Right.
And he got Dreamville.
Right.
Why do you feel like that they never put Dreamville in Fayetteville also with the baby? Do you think he's big enough to do anything like that for Charlotte annually?
Yeah, I know he just recently did. He did I wouldn't call it like a festival. It was more like a concert, just a big concert. He brought out 50 Cent, but it was more so for his birthday. And he said this was the first annual one. So we might see another one next year for his birthday. But again, everybody say that until it happens. I like to see actions speak louder. And then J. Cole, like, you got to think Fayetteville is small, bro, in comparison to Raleigh. I'm not sure. Does Fayetteville have colleges? Oh, well, I'm sure it has colleges in it. But
yeah,
like,
Fayetteville State University.
And then Raleigh, they might have more, or whatever the case may be. So I'm sure they're just looking at the influx of people that's going to be there, and just everything that comes with it, hotels, accommodations, all that type stuff. So Raleigh got it all. If it ain't Charlotte, it's Raleigh. If it ain't Raleigh, it's Charlotte. So
facts. Now, the baby, do you still think he's as big as he was when he first came out?
I think his name still holds weight for sure. I think when he came out, his momentum was so strong that when he has taken that break, that pause, it might not look the same. But I definitely think his presence is still big for sure. Because he just did a stream with DDG, and like, that shit was going crazy. It was posted everywhere, So I still think, he is as big as he is. It's just a matter of, I don't know his label situation. He was with Interscope, if I'm not mistaken. So, that machine behind him could make a difference in his push. Now he might just be doing it all himself with his money.
Yep. Do you think he had a downfall in his career? Especially when he did the Rolling Loud in Miami.
Yeah, that definitely slowed up things. But what I've come to learn is that certain individuals have like hero journeys, hero narratives. So no matter what they do, no matter what's put in front of them, they always just seem to win at the end of the day, just like a hero, superhero, whatever the case may be. DDG is one of them. The Baby's one of them. I would say Chris Brown is another person. Like, it's just something about them. Like, they just win. They just win, bro. I don't know what it is. It's not like that for everybody.
Who are some of your top artists that's in the industry? We ain't
mainstream.
Mainstream. Like, who do you listen to? I get in your G-Rod. Who is Adrian listen to?
So I ain't gonna lie, I listen to a lot of upcoming artists just because of where I am. But I do. Let me see. I listen to just damn. That's hard. I don't know. That's a hard question, bro. That's a hard. I do find myself liking a lot of West Coast music, and probably Atlanta. Then probably is like those type of artists and sounds that I normally go to if I'm listening to something.
You speaking about social media?
Okay.
Young LA had an interview when he, however he was feeling on the interview, it went viral, and he made him have a comeback to the industry. And you spoke about Atlanta. Right now, you're doing concerts. People's booking them. It's just that easy. I mean, because you got people that want to know, and people making
when you
it
say
look
just that easy. What do you mean?
Meaning, like, just to jump back onto the scene like that, and
I think Young LA has already like a household name type of thing. So I think for people who have already did their due diligence, they already went through the mud, they already established their name, they already have had some type of like history in it. It might be a little easier. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's all about momentum. The industry is like flies. As soon as you start lighting up, they're going to come to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about momentum. So if you can strategically align your resources, your ideas, and your team and make it all happen at once for a consistent period of time, the industry will come back to you.
I see you around King Carter a lot. What is y'all relationship?
King Carter, that's the homie, man. We developed a relationship over the years. He don't remember this, but I used to run into King Carter back in the day, like randomly, like we'd just be in the same studio. Like the baby would be in the studio, he'll be in the studio, and I'll just be doing whatever I'm doing in the studio, like cleaning it or whatever the case may be. So he'll remember all that. But just from doing interviews with him and just having, he has a label, he has artists, so all the artists know me. And just we've developed a relationship over the years. That's really what it is.
Right. You had a 30-day streaming thing going on. Mm-hmm. And I seen the episode where you had King Carter up there.
Yep.
DJ Chuck T.
Yep.
I'm not sure if Stephen the Dream came through.
He came, but it was on top of like another person's block of time. So he came when Set It Off came through, and then he came another time too.
What was that about? Like, can you walk me through the process of why you started streaming that for 30 days?
Man, look, stream is taking over. Stream is taking over. It's the wave, slowly but surely. Like 2 years ago, I'm looking at it like, damn, this nigga A and Ross, Kais, and that I Show Speed, they really making money. But now, 2 years later, these niggas making bags. And now I see the whole industry slowly transitioning. Artists are all streaming now. Artists want to be streamers now. You know what I'm saying? Just because the money's there, everybody's coming. All the young kids coming up, that's what they're going to be used to now. So it's just becoming a norm. So the faster you establish yourself, the better.
So you a Yella Beezy or you an MO3 fan? How you or both?
Yeah, I'm neutral.
You neutral. You both
neutral.
But how you feel about him getting locked up for capital murder?
I think it's tough. I think right now, being an artist can be dangerous, bro. Just looking back at maybe what you've said in songs, because, RICO cases is going crazy right now. Like some of our biggest and most influential people is locked up or, just got out of a lockup. Thug, we got Dirt. It's like, it's going crazy. So, I don't know. You just got to be wary of what you've done in the past and what you're doing currently.
Yeah, you're right about that. Definitely right about that.
That's why I try to, be good guy.
No, but
Adrian
you're right,
Nyce,
though. Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you on them lyrics, you got to live by them lyrics.
No, for sure.
If you're saying it.
That's true.
So that's where it become dangerous at. Mm-hmm. Young Scooter.
Yeah.
Passing of his, that was crazy. They still saying the cops killed him because of, but was it just, he just bled out? I don't know.
Yeah, I think they said it was because of the wound or whatever the case may be. But, yeah, that's tough, too. It's one thing to get, if you're an artist, to get killed by, a street nigga doing some dumb shit. It's another thing to get killed by. That shit's crazy, bro. That shit's crazy.
Well, would you say Young Scooter was a mainstream artist or he was getting there?
I think he has did his due diligence to have a household name to where, any mainstream artist would know, like, who he is type shit. Go ahead. I was about to say, it's one thing to, like, be hot. A lot of these people have, like, become hot. But, it's about, it's hard to stay hot. You know what I'm saying? So, just.
Well, why you say that? It's hard to stay hot. Because
you see artists come and go all the time. One hitter quitters. You know what I'm saying? They become hot, but we don't see nobody like Drake that's staying hot over years. You know what I'm saying? So
Drake's still hot after the Kendrick thing and all that. So he's still
yes. What bruh? I don't know if he.
Do you really think he lost fans though?
Nah, I think so. I think Drake and his team are like, their music industry IQ, like how they see the industry and how they can manipulate it and how they know how to move their chess game, like IQ, music industry IQ, is so crazy that they know, like, okay, boom, I just went through this beef, hard beef, whatever. Now let me lean into the soft shit for the ladies, bro. Like, perfect timing, perfect opportunity. It doesn't make sense to drop some more hard shit because I lost this motherfucking beef. So it doesn't make sense. So let me go the opposite way, which we know he can do and kill it, which he has. That album was fire. For sure.
Man,
that's just crazy.
Yeah. And, to think about it, I got to, take it back to the Super Bowl, though, where Kendrick performed.
Yeah.
And most people thought a lot of people thought it was the worst. But was it really that bad? Your opinion?
I don't think it was. I think, obviously it wasn't meant for everybody. It was a lot of messages, hidden messages, subliminal messages in it. I'm highly impressed. The thing that I was impressed with was Kendrick's, wind, his lungs, because Kendrick raps fast. And the way he was moving across that field and still rapping his bars, bro, that shows a level of just, seniority, expert. I thought it was fun. It wasn't as wowing as it could have been, but, I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I think everybody kind of died down with Diddy a little bit, but his trial is coming up. So he's risking it all on this right here.
Okay.
And I look at it like people still talking about it. But do you think he's going to get out of there?
So I was having this argument with a girl the other day, and we was actually just trying to figure out what are his actual charges. What are his actual charges? And I think the main thing is just sex trafficking, and which can be debatable, very debatable. So I think if someone I think he'll get out. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I think he'll get out. Well, actually, I don't know, because I feel like black people are treated different in situations like this. Andrew Tate is a perfect example. Very influential person, but him and his brother got arrested for quote unquote sex trafficking. And they went through the trial. They got out of it. So we know Diddy has a substantial amount of money. I'm sure he can get the right lawyers, but I think that they might treat him a little different. Out of all of these lockups that's been happening, the only person to get out is Young Thug. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Everybody else still, they waiting, they trial getting pushed back, or they ain't getting out.
I think Yellow Beezy's out, though. Huh? I think he's out, Yellow Beezy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's out.
So, okay. So, I think Diddy, if they don't find no, I don't know. If sex trafficking is it,
So
it could be worse.
So R. Kelly, if they let Diddy go, then should they pardon R. Kelly?
That's true. See, but R. Kelly, I don't know. Oh, I think kidnapping was a charge too with the Diddy. So it's iffy. It's just seeing, they got to see some evidence. They saying, flying a girl out. That's sex trafficking. So now, when we think of sex trafficking, we thinking girls in the back of a truck getting stolen and shit. That's what I think about. Yeah. And if Diddy ain't doing that, let that man go.
Yeah.
Let that man go.
But it could be anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what assault and battery is. They really don't know. Assault could be a threat.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
And the battery come from you putting your hands on somebody.
Right.
So that's, a lot of people didn't even know that.
Gray areas. So I think while the trial's going, while the lawyers are talking, while they're presenting evidence, I think it's going to boil down to what it actually is. If it's just this, Okay. Like on a scale of 1 to 10 of, sex trafficking or whatever it is, like if it's like a 1, which is the flying a girl out, having a good time, my man gonna get out. But we'll see. Is he out on bail?
Who, did he?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Okay. I forgot.
No, absolutely not.
He doesn't have a bail, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Right.
I think
he's still trying to get granted one. Yeah.
I think with him, I don't know. I just see him staying in jail like, what's my man, Melly? He been in, they still doing his case. He been in there for I don't know how long, bro.
Thugger was lucky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thugger
was lucky, man.
Like, he was waiting a while too, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what, like, I feel like they be waiting too long for their trials, bro. This shit's crazy.
They still gathering their evidence. So, of course, they're going to keep pushing it back, make them wait. Thugger was in there, 3 years?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Just to get a trial to know, if they making you guilty or not.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So you spend a lot of time on the West Coast. Let's talk about the difference. West Coast. Which coast you like being on? East Coast, West Coast?
Each side has their pros and cons, bro.
Let's talk about it.
Right now, I'll probably say, like, for what I'm trying to do, West Coast is probably more of a speed that I probably like to be in. But it's just the Carolinas can feel like home. Like, it's just a homey, welcoming feeling. You know what I'm saying? And West Coast can be like that too, just depending on who you're around or the group you come into, like you start to settle into. But it's just, it's more about business when I'm out there. It's more like type of thing. What can we make happen? How are we going to make it happen? Type shit. When I'm here, I feel like everybody's not on that type of time. They might have the intention of being on that type of time, but stuff can just be delayed. It's just delayed. Delayed reactions. And I sometimes fall into that shit.
Now kind of make sure I ain't bugging, right?
Okay, go ahead.
You missed Dreamville, but I seen the video where you went to South by Southwest.
Yes.
Now, were y'all really stuck in traffic like that?
Yes, bro. That shit was crazy. We was there. It might have been a 3-hour, 2.5 hour wait of just sitting in traffic. I forgot what happened, but we was on the highway. They closed off the rest of the highway. So everybody had to take this exit, which was just slowing up everybody. But they ended up opening back up. We got to moving, and yeah.
What was the experience like this year with South by Southwest?
Man, South by Southwest might be dying, bro. I am not going to lie. Like, they need to somehow reinvent it, the music side of things. I haven't been to any other things, so I can't talk for that. Just the music side of things. The crowd was a little light compared to the previous years. I definitely still think if you're an artist, you need to go at least twice, because your first time, you're going to see where everything is, so you won't get to actually move how you want to move. So your second time, you'll get to do what you want to do. So at least go twice, for sure. But yeah, it's still one of the biggest, if you're an artist going out there, you're not going out there for like a crowd or like fans. Like, you're not going out there to perform for fans or the crowd, because the majority of the crowd are other artists. You know what I'm saying? So I would say your intention needs to go to you're going out there to get content. First off, you're performing wherever you need to perform. You're in the right rooms, but you're getting content. Okay. And then next, you need to be seeking out people on the administrative side of things. So managers, A&Rs, labels, DJs, all of these people who can help you take your career to the next level, or they know somebody who, and just get their info. You're not selling them right there either. You know what I'm saying? You're meeting them, meeting as many people as possible, getting their numbers, info, and following up with them to set up a meeting.
So you just dropped a lot of gems on for the independent artists.
Yeah.
So what's some of the best advice someone gave you that stuck with you all the way into now?
Damn, that's tough to process. Best advice, Shit, man. I don't know, bro. I don't fucking know. I mean, just write down your stuff. The most important part is planning, pre-planning, I feel like. And I learned that in film school. And you can see it with everything. With your music, you got to pre-plan the rollout. You know, it's not just releasing. You got to pre-plan the rollout, pre-plan what happens after it comes out. It's like that with a film. It's like the more you can plan it out to an exact, like as much as possible, the easier it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? And the better it'll be. I feel like that's just me. Pre-planning is important.
Yeah. So you go to church, Adrian?
Do I go to church? So yeah. I definitely grew up going to church. So the thing about church with me was we went to a church and our pastor was like my uncle was a pastor. So like the pastor of the church, my uncle started preaching in that church. So I don't know if some like beef, not necessarily beef, because my uncle started his own.